Is it too late to invest in Ethereum? Ethereum has been on a great run recently, but when we look at the price chart, it is beginning to look a little scary, and we can see it's starting to go vertical. It certainly is looking pretty high, especially when we compare it to the last few years. So, is Ethereum in a bubble? Is it too late to invest? Well, I have got some great news. Not only do I think Ethereum is going much higher, I think we are only just getting started. Quick disclaimer, this is not investment advice. Ultimately, no one knows exactly what is going to happen. There are risks with any type of investment, and this is just my opinion and how I see things. Now, here's the point to understand. Everything is relative, and it all depends on what we compare it to. For example, nothing is expensive or cheap. Nothing is fast or slow. Nothing is heavy or light. Everything changes depending on what you're comparing it to. For example, let's do fast and slow. You may think that Usain Bolt is really fast, and when compared to you, he probably is. But when you compare him to a cheetah, Usain Bolt now becomes the slow one. Now take heavy and light. You might think that an iPhone is quite heavy, and if you compare it to a feather, then you'd be right. But then if you compare it to a car, the iPhone now becomes the light one. Okay, now before you think, why are you telling me this? This brings us nicely back to Ethereum. Is Ethereum expensive or cheap? Well, as we saw in the price chart, if you compare it to the last few years, then Ethereum is looking really expensive, right? But what I'm going to show you in this video will completely change the context. And it will show why, to me, Ethereum looks really cheap. I'm going to give you some new comparisons. So in this video, we're going to be looking at the network effect and how the price generally follows the size of the network. We'll look at signs of adoption, so we'll take a look at what's going on in the world and the marketplace and see if Ethereum is getting adopted. We'll look at the DeFi valuation model, and this alone has the possibility of 10xing the Ethereum price. And we'll finish with something that you've probably not seen before. It's the developer insights. Would you like to know which platforms and protocols all the developers are rushing to? Or which platforms and protocols have the most developers? And I can say when I saw this, it was very insightful. As always, if you do find anything useful in the video, be sure to drop a like. Always very much appreciated. Okay, got some great things to show you guys, and we are going to start with the excellent work that was done by Raoul Pal from Real Vision. He did some great work on Metcalfe's law, and it shows that the true Ethereum value will come from the size of its network. Check it out. So this is Raoul Pal, and he is the founder of Real Vision. He's former Goldman Sachs, and he's spent his entire career in the hedge fund industry. He was able to retire at 36, and he's well known for being irresponsibly long, which means that most of his money is in the crypto market. And he did some great analysis based on Metcalfe's law and the power of networks. So you can see a small network with only one connection is not that valuable. But as the network grows, it begins to grow at an exponential rate, which means the network becomes exponentially more valuable. And this is how it relates to Ethereum. So what this chart shows is the correlation between the number of users and the market cap. So the white line is the number of Ethereum addresses, and the blue line is the Ethereum market cap. And you can see just how correlated this is. So as the number of addresses grows, the market cap grows. As the number of addresses or the network falls, then the price falls. And you can see this is highly correlated. So the question is, what is going on with the number of Ethereum addresses right now? Well, check this out. This is the number of unique addresses for Ethereum. And just check out this growth rate. This is turning into an awesome ski slope. And then this is the data which shows how Ethereum could be going to $20,000. So what do we have here? So this white line is the growth rate of Bitcoin, and the blue line is the growth rate for Ethereum. Now, the problem is that Bitcoin had a 5-year head start. So what Raul did is that he lined them together when they both had 1 million active addresses. And you can see just how correlated this is. In fact, Ethereum is pretty much following the same growth rate as Bitcoin. And if this continues to do so, then this is how Ethereum could be getting to $20,000. So that was one example based on network effects of how Ethereum could be going to $20,000. Now, today's price of $3,000 doesn't seem that expensive anymore, right? Okay, next up, I like to keep an eye on what's actually happening in the real world. Is Ethereum getting adopted by the marketplace? Check it out. First up, we had the news that Visa is going to start settling transactions with crypto. And this is using the stablecoin USDC, which is Coinbase's stablecoin. And this coin is built on Ethereum. Recently, we had Canada approving the world's first regulated ETF, and this was for Ethereum. And with over 200 countries in the world, this isn't a small country, this is Canada. And then hot off the press, just last week, we had a European investment bank creating a brand new product. They've now got digital bonds. And yes, the platform that they're going to be launching from is Ethereum. And this isn't DeFi, this is CeFi. This is the current centralized finance adopting Ethereum. So each of these by themselves are really big news, but when you add them all together, it's really positive for Ethereum. We have Visa choosing to partner with Ethereum, Ethereum ETFs being launched, and investment banks launching brand new products built on Ethereum. Now combine this with what's already happening with Ethereum's adoption and things begin to supercharge. But there's more, guys. I recently did a video on James Wang, and he was an analyst at ARK Invest for several years. And he pointed out some research that was done by Arthur Hayes, which shows how the ETH price could be getting to $40,000. Check this out. This is Arthur Hayes, and he is the CEO and co-founder of BitMEX, which is a crypto exchange. And he did some great analysis on the current global financial system. So this is centralized finance, CeFi. And the current financial system currently does about 2.7 trillion in revenue every year. And he worked out that if DeFi could just take 1% of that, this would give a $40,000 Ethereum price. And this was the table that he drew up. So it worked out if DeFi could take just 1% of the financial system, which would be about $27 billion, this would make the Ethereum market cap around 4.6 trillion and the Ethereum price to $40,000. Now, the amazing thing is if Ethereum could take 5%, this would give an ETH price of $200,000. And more conservatively, if it could only take 0.5% of the global financial system's revenue, it still gives an Ethereum price of $20,000. So the question is, what is going on in DeFi right now? Well, check this out. DeFi is measured in TVL, which is total value locked, how much money is being locked away in these lending protocols. And you can see this is pretty much growing at an exponential rate. And it's now recently broken through $60 billion. So DeFi is exploding right now. So if Ethereum's DeFi can take just 1% of the global financial system's revenue, this would take the Ethereum price to $40,000. And again, with this new comparison of $40,000, $3,000 is beginning to look quite cheap now, right? But there's more, guys. To finish, we have some excellent research done by Electric Capital, and they have spent some painstaking hours putting together everything that's going on in the world of developers. These are all the people behind the scenes that are actually building up these protocols. And when I first saw this myself, it feels a little bit like insider information, as it's all the stuff going on behind the scenes that people don't realize. Do you want to see which protocols have attracted the most developers right now? Or how about the protocols that are bringing on developers at the fastest rate? Well, check this out. So let's start with the active developers for Bitcoin. And you can see Bitcoin has had a great growth rate when it comes to developers, but in the last 2 years, it's had over 70% of new developers coming on board, which is great. But then we have Ethereum, and look at the growth rate of developers for Ethereum. And in only the last couple of years, it's grown over 200%. And Ethereum has the most developers than any other platform. This is the developers for DeFi, decentralized finance. And you can see just in the last 6 months, we've had this growth rate of 67%. And how about now some insider knowledge on the other protocols? So here we have the growth rate for some of the other popular protocols. So we've got Bitcoin, Polkadot, Cosmos, Ethereum, Near, Solana, and this is the developer growth rate of these protocols. So you can see in yellow here, this is Bitcoin. We can use this as our benchmark, and this just highlights the explosive growth that is going on in Ethereum right now. Ethereum is clearly dominating from a developer point of view. And we can also see some other protocols here, Polkadot and Cosmos. So on the next slide, what I'm going to do is zoom in just on this little section here, as it will also create some additional insights. So we've now blown it up, and one of the interesting things it shows here is the explosive growth going on in Polkadot right now. In fact, when you start it from the same point, it is outpacing even Ethereum. And then probably the last thing to know is Binance Coin, which when you compare it at the same growth rate, it's even outpacing Polkadot and Ethereum at that time. But obviously this is still very early days, but we could see some big growth coming from Binance Coin. So there you are, guys, pretty mind-blowing data, right? And this all says to me that we are just getting started with Ethereum, which is all pretty exciting. We had Raul's network effect data showing how ETH could be getting to $20,000, Arthur Hayes' DeFi valuation model, which shows how Ethereum could be getting to $40,000, and as of right now, Ethereum is around $3,000. Again, none of this is investment advice, and please only invest money that you can afford to lose. I just wanted to share with you guys what I am seeing and why I don't think it's too late to invest in Ethereum. But also remember, this isn't just going to be a straight line up. There are going to be some big drops and big pullbacks along the way. But hope you found this useful. I'll put links to the resources mentioned below. And for now, just one favor to ask. If you did find anything useful in the video, be sure to drop a like. And a big thank you to everyone who does. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, I invite you to click below and join us. I do have some great videos coming up that you don't want to miss. If you want to learn how to make between 5 and 10% on your crypto holdings, and also from the money in your bank, be sure to check out the link to BlockFi below. That's the platform that I currently use. Okay, cheers guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.